Sorry. A little weird eye thing. Just making sure this thing's on. Woo! What's up? How's it going? Jumping on. Give you another second. Sort of a regular drill now. Getting on here quick. Last week I asked you if you got an email from me about this event, about going live, or you saw my post, or you just happened to be here. I would like to know if you could just leave me a comment saying, hey, saw your post, email, or happened to be here. I'd appreciate it. Anyone? Rentis Saporito. Hello, how are you? New Orleans, I'm guessing, right? Am I right? New Orleans? Email. Thank you, Renda. Anyone else? Anyone else get an email about this? Saw my post? Great. Happened to be here. Okay. A little mix of them all, huh? A little mix of them all. Happened to be here. Thank you, Susie_Shade and GMA Jenny Barker. I'm giving y'all shout outs for people who take the time to let me know. I'm always curious about that, and I'll tell you why, because I'm wondering if I need to bother to notify people or not, because I could spend sorry, lost you for a second. I'm back. I'm just wondering if I want to keep sending out emails about it or not, or I should just sort of skip to another subject. And same thing goes for posts. Should I spend my post-worthy posting on this or not? Anyway, Rendo, you just got my book. What book? You mean the catalog? I think you mean that catalog from the gallery, not a book. I'm pretty sure that's what you're talking about. It's not a book, it's a catalog. Okay. I'm gonna wait just a few more seconds and then we'll get on with the pajama jam. And I will try to avoid the blinding glare that seems to be unavoidably coming off my head. You're just gonna have to put on the sunglasses and deal with it, I guess. Then if you're in public, people are gonna start wondering, why the hell is this person wearing sunglasses while they're staring at their phone? Well, maybe they won't wonder. Maybe that's just normal. Maybe I'm just rambling and I'm not making much sense. I don't know. Maybe I need to get one of those damn tripod things, because I feel like a schmuck sitting here holding this far away. No. Here you go. Little angle. Okay. All right. Here we go. I got some emails from people, and I appreciate it. People wanting me to talk about this, that, or the other thing. I got a couple of questions. I am not using the questions that I got. I don't think they're going to work for today. So what I wanted to talk to y'all about today, I got my little paper here. Before I get into what I'm going to talk about today, a couple of quick announcements. I have a new print, signed, hand-signed, limited edition print that's available at howardsherman.com. If you go to howardsherman.com, click on available print, and you will see it. I've posted about it. Grab them while you can. There is a limited edition, hand-signed, hand-numbered print. Go grab one. No excuses. Go get it at my website. The other thing, while you're there, get on my email list. That's how you find out about stuff. If you click on the contact link, there's a black subscribe button. Subscribe to the email list. That's at howardsherman.com as well. www.howardsherman.com. There's a link to my website in my bio, profile, whatever. The next thing, regarding Instagram, I will be going live on Instagram through Foltz Fine Art for a talk with art critic Todd Camplin on Saturday. I will post about this today. In fact, I think I'm posting about it today, and is there my emails going out today about it? Something. I got to double check. I got a calendar for all this stuff. But there will be, there's not going to be a Zoom. It's going to be Instagram Live. I just checked with the gallery. The art critic Todd Camplin, who did he wrote a really great essay for the catalog for this show that I've got up right now. He's coming into town, into Houston, where the show is, and I will be here too, and we will be talking and streaming that talk on Instagram on Saturday. This Saturday, which I believe is September 26th, and I got to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's at 1 p.m. United States Central Time. 1 p.m. United States Central Time. And it's through Foltz, and there'll be something about it. And I got to double check. I hope I'm not giving you the wrong information, but if you get an email from me, you'll know about that. And maybe it'll be on social media too. Okay, so now that I got all that business taken care of, I hope you jump on Saturday for that talk. I'm sure it's this Saturday. I'm sure he's coming into town for it. So him and I will be live in person, face to face, at 6 feet social distance or what have you. Oh, fuck. Okay, what else? That's it. Grab the print. I had available prints on my website. Get on my email list and jump back on here on Saturday for that talk. Okay? Okay. So, this is what I wanted to talk to you about today. I just thought about this not too long ago. I did an interview at the gallery for this show that I just put up last week. And some things occurred in the work that went in this show, and I was thinking about why that they occurred. Some new things, some changes occurred, and I was thinking about why those changes occurred in the work, and I thought that would be helpful to you. So that's sort of what I want to get at today. It's another one that's very short and sweet, but it's a bigger point that I think will be helpful to you, which is why I've been doing these. Because I'm trying to be helpful to y'all. I want to give you a little help in addition to a tidbit of shameless promotion. So I was doing this interview. We were walking through the gallery. I was thinking about it, talking about it. I realized there's been some shifts in scale in my work, and I've been experimenting with new materials. And this sounds pretty straightforward, but for me, I'm pretty invested in the materials that I work with, and my experimentation generally isn't that involved with new materials and new scale. I come to new things in other ways. It's just sort of the way that I've always worked, okay? There's growth, there's changes, they happen, but for me, they generally don't happen a whole lot with scale. They generally don't happen a whole lot with changes in materials. I've never really spent that much time thinking about why. I'm usually just so busy working. I'm so happy if I see something new happen that I'm just happy about it and I don't beat myself up or overanalyze it. But I'll tell you what happened. I was thinking about it, and I was thinking like, well, why did this happen? Why did I all of a sudden give myself permission to do these things? Which, more specifically, I made some largish works on paper at a scale that I haven't worked at in 8 years. And then I usually make small works on paper, and instead I made a whole suite of small works of a certain size, but I used sheets of canvas instead. And in some instances, I mounted them on board instead. And I think they're all great, and they're all at the show right now, and I hope you get a chance to see it one way or another. But I was very apprehensive about working with board or wood or anything like that. I haven't touched it since I was in art school, and even then I didn't like it that much. I used it very sparingly. I think because I felt like there was a little less flexibility with the material, which is very, very important to me. And I get a sense of that when I'm tearing, ripping, cutting, and working with paper and canvas. But I came back around to it. I gave myself permission to try this. But part of it was the headspace I was in, where that conversation came into place. And this is the important thing that I wanted to tell y'all. How do I want to get to this? I'm trying to think of a way to get to this. So essentially, I spent 2016, 2019 primarily in New York City. For part of that time, I kept a studio and an apartment in Houston, Texas, where I'm from. And I was bouncing back and forth, and things were pretty hectic. And I was living there, not here, but the last year it got tough. Like expenses were tough, and it just got really tough. And this year, partially due to the pandemic, I changed my studio situation, and I alleviated a few of these sort of burdens that I'm alluding to, mostly financial, quite frankly, for one reason or another. I'm not going to go into all the details, but a little bit, I was able to lift some weight off my shoulders. And I think that that's the important thing. And when I lifted the weight off my shoulders, I exhaled a little bit, had some time to contemplate, and I realized that I was in a place, due to just the sheer amount of work that I've made and the situation that I'd put myself in, to ask myself new questions about scale materials. And then I just went for it, and I tried it, and I got good results that were a little different. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to get at. I apologize if I'm sounding a little long-winded. I kind of wanted to string the whole thing together. I hope that made sense. But the point I'm trying to get at is that if you're feeling like you're not, new things aren't happening in the work, or if you want to try and shock yourself a little bit with the work, one way to do that is to sort of put yourself in a little bit more in a situation where you maybe lower your expenses, you maybe relocate to a different studio space, which might be a little bit more open, free, better light, higher ceilings, what have you. Just sort of find a way to take a little bit of pressure off yourself one way or another, and you'd be surprised at how quickly or how differently your thinking opens up. On top of that, part of what helped me get there is just sheer work. When you're working all the time and you work through issues, that in combination with maybe an alleviation of financial pressure or personal pressure of some sort, you pull yourself out of a certain sort of toxic relationship or something. That's another type of pressure you need to alleviate. You just want to take it. You want to find the pressure points, and if you can take pressure off those pressure points, that will let you focus a little bit more on things going on in your studio. That's how you might get to where I got to, which is changes in scale and material that I wasn't even considering before, because I was just too busy grinding away and dealing with lots of expenses, quite frankly. So I guess the overarching thing here is find ways to alleviate the pressure that might even open your mind a little more to new ideas in the studio, if that makes sense. I hope that made sense. That's the big point of today, relieving the pressure. New ways to relieve the pressure and opening up new ideas in the studio. Give me some comments. I'd like to sort of have a little bit of a running feed, and let me know if what I just said made sense to you, because that's the big idea. The other thing I want to remind you of along the same lines is remember that you're here to experiment. You're not just making product, okay? You want to let the wild animal out of the cage to feed. Open up the cage door, try new things. One way you do that is just taking pressure off yourself in one way or another, like I alluded to before. And then if you've got some sort of freaky guilty pleasure, go for it. It can secretly be the driver of some new idea in your art. And along those lines, I didn't necessarily have some guilty pleasure open up my work, but there's one particular painting in this show which I wish I had the thing to show you. Maybe I do have the thing to show you. Hold on a second. I can show this to you. Oh, this will work out great. This is a catalog from the show. You can buy them. Sorry, lost you again. catalog from the show. You can buy them from Foltz Fine Art. If I can find the image. There's an image, that white painting with the yellow border. Can you see it? Do you see it? It's called The Speech Police. Some new things happened in this painting when I started to peel back elements of the painting. And it got me thinking about my work in a whole different way. Another simple little internal thing ticking, but it happened. And anyway, those are my ideas for the day. How to relieve pressure so that you open up your mind to new ideas in the studio. And letting your freak flag fly. Don't be embarrassed. That's it. If you have questions related to what I just said, I'll take those. If you ask me what my inspiration is, I'm gonna fucking go apeshit. So, are there any questions related to what we've talked about today? I'll give it a minute. Did it make sense? Is it clear? Do you need me to explain anything? Hey, GM Jenny Barker, thank you for the support. Thank you for that. I appreciate it, and that'll be I guess that'll be mailed to you really soon. Thank you. Thank you, the Izzy Dream. Let me scroll back through. Anyone have any thoughts, feelings, questions about what I talked about? You know, I think there's a lot of people that just go into their little broom closet. They go into their little broom closet. Thank you, Martin Dorlaseli. These are unfinished, so don't look at them. I'm going to back up. I've got a lot of unfinished things in the studio. I hope you can somehow see the work that's at the show that's up right now. Show's up for it's got a long run, 5 weeks. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, you know, you go into your little sort of, you go into your little broom closet, or you call it your studio or whatever, and you kind of just go through the routines of things. Maybe your rent's too high in your apartment. Maybe your girlfriend's, you know, not supportive. Maybe you, you know, you got an unhealthy diet. I don't know. It could be any number of things. But if you take a small step and modify one of those things or another one of those things, you might realize, oh my God, my brain and my viewpoint are opened up to new ideas. And now I'm making red paintings instead of blue paintings, and I like the red ones so much better. Anyway, okay, here's something interesting that just came in. I knew these questions would take some time. Some of you send like 2 words with a question mark, and I have no fucking idea what you're talking about. It's like the most vague little thing in the world, you know? Like, promoting your work, question mark. What are you talking about? I don't even know what you mean, you know? I'm not a mind reader. Okay, you're so cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. Nico Gome _Z. Rocco.is asks this question. What is what you can tell us? What can you tell us about next year predictions for artists considering second lockdown winter? EXT Howard. Okay, I think what you mean is, what can I tell you about if there's going to be a lockdown? And what regarding artists? I'm not really sure, but I think that I'm going to back this up because I think that it's broken English, but okay. Listen, this is the thing, okay? Out of everyone affected by everyone's affected by lockdowns and the pandemic, but it's like anything else. use the time in your studio wisely. I've talked about this since the beginning of the pandemic when I started doing these. One of the first and most important topics was, I like pointing. Gotcha, right between the fucking eyes. Use the time wisely in your studio, okay? There's fewer distractions during a pandemic. Use the time wisely. Do not get distracted. Do not just start scrolling the news constantly on your phone. Do not freak out. Just keep working. You have time to work now with few distractions, and the time is a gift. So if there's another lockdown, maybe it's not that different for you than if there was no lockdown. Maybe you just sort of keep working in your studio. Have you thought about that? Rocco.is.is. I have no idea if there's going to be another lockdown or not. By the time, every day on the news, they're talking about vaccines coming in November or December. So who the hell knows? I really don't know. Assume there is another lockdown. What are you going to do about it? Get to work. That's it. Get to work. Use your time wisely. Lockdown, no lockdown. Get to work. You don't want to come up at the end of another lockdown thinking, oh my God, I just spent 3 months freaking out and panicking because I was locked down. By the way, if you're locked down, I don't care what country you're in. If you're locked down, that doesn't mean you have to stay inside. You can still take a walk outside, right? Can't you? I'm pretty sure you can. Lockdown is a harsh term for some people, and it's a harsh time. But use the time wisely. That's it. I'm done with that rant. I think that's going to be. I hope I have another question or two that I can use. And anything else related to alleviating pressure in order to produce new ideas? I think that's the title of today's talk. How to alleviate pressure in order to generate new ideas in the studio. Look who's here. Sip it to Heron. I got an email from you a little while ago, I think. Sip it to Heron. Didn't I? I think I did. Before you had your own shows, did it matter to you where a gallery hung your work? And also, what they hung it next to. Okay. So what I think you're asking me is, if I was in a group show at a gallery, did it matter to me where they hung my work? And also, where the gallerist hung it? I think that's what you mean. And you know what? It's a question. Those are questions that never really dawned on me. I've been in group shows at galleries on multiple occasions. I've been at group shows in galleries that I guess represented me. I've been in group shows at galleries that did not represent me. And I never really gave much because of the nature of what I made. I didn't really spend any time, or it didn't even occur to me to ask them who they hung it next to or where they hung it. And that might be a mistake on my part to not even think about that. But I guess, in most of those instances, especially in recent history, I was too busy with other things to worry about where things were being hung in a group show. It wasn't my only thing going on, I don't think, in most instances, I don't really necessarily think the artist has a lot of say of who in the show they're hanging with and who they're not hanging with or next to or not. And, the loaded under narrative of that is, are you embarrassed by the work that's hanging next to your work? I don't know. Again, I've never really given a lot of thought. I was just so busy with other things that were more focused on me and my work and not about a group show that I didn't really even think about that stuff. And, the other thing too is the interpersonal dynamics of your specific situation might come into play. Is the gallerist a good friend of yours who's like, hey, where do you want me to put this since I know you, buddy? Or is it just some strange situation? I don't know. You're not really being specific enough for me to give you really good answers to those questions. But the bigger point there, Sip It to Heron, is this. fucking get busy with other things that are important to you. What about your own show somewhere that's just your work? Focus on that. Until this gallery is, until you're the focus there, don't spend too much time worried about some group show, unless you really want to. Whatever. I don't know. Didn't really help that much there, Sip It to Heron. I don't think I did, but maybe I did. Okay. One more, and that's it. D_I_M_. Any advice for a young artist? I know it's really common, but it seems the most helpful question. Look, and then go look some more in real life. Read a lot. Work all the time. And art school could be very useful to developing your intellectual capacity under the right circumstances. And I went more specifically into that in a recent post, in a recent one of these videos. If you go to my website, you can find it there. I talk a lot about the benefits of an MFA and that sort of thing. But, what's in your control is looking, reading, and working all the time. And I think that that's going to be it for today. I hope y'all are, I hope that helped. Here to help you. Go grab a print from my website, get on my email list, come to the talk on Saturday. And that's it for now. All right, y'all. See ya. Bye-bye.